Hi everyone. Coronavirus. Everyone talking about it. It's been 2.5 months now, or more than that, since December last year, 2019. That's why now it's called COVID-19. So this coronavirus is originated from China, Wuhan, of course. Everyone know it's spreading around the world now. So I live in Sydney, in Australia. I'm very worried about it, and everyone, around the globe is worried about it because this symptom is like a flu symptom. So you got a bit of fever, coughing, and headaches. And of course you sweat. So those common flu symptoms that people experience. Um, but this is an airborne disease, so basically it's very contagious. A person with a coronavirus will infect another person within close proximity, like say within a meter. For example, a person sneezing or coughing, their germ and virus carry through their breath can travel up to a meter. So if a sick person, sneeze and within a meter, that would affect another person standing nearby. So just to illustrate this, this is a good diagram. So you can see in this diagram how far the germ can travel. It's up to a meter. So you know, if there's sick person, well, best advice that sick person should stay at home to contain until he or she get better. But unfortunately, if we get caught in between, this is where the situation, the germ can travel up to a meter from the source of a person's sneeze through their mouth or their nose. So that's how the airborne disease can be quickly mutate among us if we not take um, enough precaution and be aware of the surrounding environment. So once the person contract with the disease, it take up to 14 days. Up to it can be any time between 1 to 14 days, but within 14 days, there's the incubation period. That's when the disease is hiding, basically incubating, and up to 14 days, then a person, diagnosed with some symptom, and therefore they test and they find out there's a coronavirus within them. But the coronavirus is attacking the lung, so it's more risk with the elderly people or people with lung condition, or people with smoking habit, like to smoke cigarette, and using alcohol, over excessive amount of alcohol, of course. But generally, people with lung condition or elderly people get hit hard with this symptom, of course. Of course, the disease can be cured if they have a good supporting system with their breathing, respiratory equipment, normally at the hospital or clinic center, that they can revise and help the person through the period of time when the virus is gradually go out from the system or our body system. Then that person can be getting better. So to help with preventing the problem, we can avoid people close contact, and um, avoid crowded place. We also avoid handshaking um, or hugging. Um, we need to wash our hands um, hand well before touching um, our face or eating. I think with the general public, which you should cover your mouth and nose. When a person is yawning, when you yawn, sneeze. Because sneeze is the most way that you can pass on germ to the next person, and cough. So when you're coughing, you should be coughing to your elbows, and that's to contain it. So do this general thing will help us less mutated or less chance to catching the disease. It's not saying that we're totally preventing it, but do this general hygiene can help preventing passing the germ onto the next person's and help containing it. So all these problem around the world and hit our local here in Australia, Sydney specifically, and of course people throw themselves in a panic mode, buying all sort of different things from grocery, like toilet paper, rice, cereal, oil. When they run out of toilet paper, they grab tissue and nappies and so on. So all these long-term accessory or dairy products and that they can store, of food, canned foods, they can store in a long run, in a long term, then they buy them all. So as you can see here, practically the toilet paper aisle here are empty, and then they run into the paper towel, and the paper towel is almost empty as well, as you can see in this video clip here. So this is practically, they bought out all the toilet paper, and now the paper towel, they bought them all as well. So practically the cell is very much empty. So this is what it's like. It's so ridiculous. I'm so frustrated. They will try their best to restock it as soon as possible. So here the noodle and the rice section, as you can see that all bought out, all sold, nothing on a shelf, nothing on a shelf. These noodles, and again, these will restock hopefully very soon. But what, a panic. There you go. All the rice gone. I buy weekly, and the rice I buy monthly. But normally I buy just 5 kilos, 10 kilos, and now I come back to buy it, and there's nothing. Literally nothing on a shelf. And now the pads, lady pads, and dietary and all toilet hygienic stuff are also been emptied from the shelf as well. Even salt, people need to buy salt, but it's almost empty here. There's only one left, and what? It doesn't make sense, but people just throw themselves in a panic mode and grab. This is the cereal. This is the cereal. And I also purchased some. This is empty, and empty. Literally nothing for me to buy. This is the long life milk. They bought them out as well. So literally everything's empty. So these will get restocked very soon. But I say, what a panic moment! Panic buys. It's really not worth it. So with all the frustration that I could not buy the toilet paper, and we got none. We ran out of toilet paper. So, luckily we installed ourselves not long ago a Japanese toilets system. Literally, after you do number one, number two, normally number two, then you can use this toilet to wash yourself, and you literally don't really need toilet paper. So it's kind of handy in this kind of situation. It's also good for hygienic, in the family as well. So imagine you don't have to touch your bottom after you go to the toilet. So that's handy. So we'll probably stick to using this toilet going forward without having to use toilet paper, I hope. um, I think I just get myself used to it. It's a good alternative, and of course, the probably a better alternative and more hygiene solution um, to the paper roll, to the toilet paper roll. So anyway, it's just only our personal opinion on this matter. So we use this self hygiene, self wash toilet going forward for our family. So what is the wrong with people in general? What's the panic? So I mean, up to 3 months. Then what happened after 3 months? We're probably back to zero. And if the um, virus is not going away, if we're not properly containing it, then what's the problem? So what happened to the people running out of supply and stockpile that they use over the next 3 months, because most of the time that people can stock up the supply for maximum 3 months. So after 3 months is over and the outbreak is not contained, so what happened? So people still with the virus is even worse situation. We got no more food to buy or to stock it up. So I think the better solution is to quarantine, limit our movement within 14 days, and the people with the virus can volunteer themselves to go through the quarantine and clinic to help them, go through their hard time and, curing it, rather than this panic buying, happening everywhere. So with all of these, you know, problem around the world, um, so all these problems around the world that we should be taking a more appropriate approach. Like example, um, it will take 14 days to quarantine the coronavirus. So coronavirus, everyone knows that, is taking up um, to 14 days um, to incubate before a person um, is aware um, and identify with the disease. So I think it's appropriate to suggest that um, uh, the world, the whole world should go into standstill for 14 days to properly um, quarantine and hopefully contain or fully contain um, the coronavirus. So, because we need to limit our movement and um, shut down our border, and each country go through their own quarantine process in order to fully um, um, close this or put an end to this coronavirus. As you can see that this airborne disease easily mutated, a person stand next to the person. One person do a seminar for 100 people, then 100 people will spread out to their 100 whoever they may got in contact with. So I think it's very dangerous not to take this seriously, and therefore we suggest that or we hope that the world is going to this 14 days standstill quarantine period. Um, we know that it hurt the economy a lot already. Um, I think 25 billion or something that Australia will have lost financially impact, and the world probably lose or lost already up to 100,000 a billion and more to come. But I think more importantly that our human life, nothing can compare to that. And we can have all these financial losses, and the share price is dropped to by 3 or 5%. But it is more hurting when we're losing our life. And after all, when a person dies, what's left? All this million and trillion dollars is meaningless. So that's why we're so worried, and we hope that everyone around the globe is going to stand still quarantine period, and hopefully it will be contained very soon. So we all get back on our feet and enjoy our life, like what we normally would do. So not to have unsafe feeling around us. So hopefully, if the whole world is going to stand still and probably quarantine, you know, um, and contain the virus, and we don't or never want to see this corona's pictures again, or say goodbye to the virus, and hopefully things will restore back to normal very soon. But we thought we share feeling and thought with this, with our concern that we have, thinking about this virus going to hit us and our family, and hopefully it's been informative, and hopefully someone out there will listen, and thinking that we need to um, close down and maximum let contact, and quarantine properly for 14 days before we go back to our normal life. And thanks, Guy, for dialing in and watching this video. Thanks.